I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. This is Eddie Bales, and I'm excited to have a special guest on the show, my brother, my actual brother, as I like to say, Chris Hulett. He has a background as a nurse where he's worked with patients across the lifespan in medicine, mental health, and chemical dependency. And I got to tell you, ever since I've known him, which is all of my life, this gentleman has really been a student of science and health and anything that you could think of as it relates to that. So he's got a wide range of exteriors, and I just can't wait to introduce you to my brother, Chris Hulett. Hey, welcome to Code Freedom. I'm super excited. I have my actual brother, guys. You've had him on the show. We've had him on the show before, so he's no stranger, but excited to have him here again. And we're actually talking about how fasting changed my life. This is episode 227. So welcome again to the show, my brother, Chris Hulett. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So happy to be here with you today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you, man. And here's the deal, like you and I, we have these types of conversations all the time. And so for me, it's really just like letting the world listen in on our types of conversations that we have. And we have some pretty intense conversations. I got to tell you, just so you know, you are one pretty smart dude. I mean, like, you just amaze me sometimes at some of the knowledge that you have. But, you know, if you really think about it, we all have genius in some area. You know what I mean? So you obviously have genius in a certain area, and I just wanted to highlight that today. And so I'm excited to get into the conversation. But the title of this episode is called "How Fasting Changed My Life." So let's just go right to it. You know, how did fasting change your life?
A general health standpoint is where I should start. Just in my daily performance and how I feel, I got to the point where each day I reflected on how good I felt. And I wrote down in my journal, how can I feel this tomorrow? So every day I wanted to just take a toll on how I felt that day and do what I could to carry it forward to the next day to keep it going. Fasting is what brought me there, but it's I can't begin to expound on the benefits of fasting and how it's made me feel just in terms of overall health.
Wow. You know, we're going to get more into some of those benefits you talked about, but I'm just curious, like, what led you to fasting in the first place?
I'll tell you what introduced me to fasting, sir. The do you remember when you started fasting?
Yeah. Hmm.
When was that?
Man, I fasted since I was younger, but
Right.
I mean, like, those were kind of far and few in between. But as an adult, I started fasting, maybe some years ago, a few years ago.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I fasted throughout the years, I should say, but a few years ago, I kind of did a lot more intentional fast, I should say.
more intentional as you learn more over the years.
Correct.
My introduction to fasting was you, sir, years ago. We've never had this conversation.
I had no idea.
21, 22 years old. So you must have still been in high school. And you told me about it, and I didn't know how I could go like a whole day or 2 days without eating at all. And I did it because of you. And like I remember that to this day. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I
I
had
even
no
remember
idea.
I even remember the first food that I ate when I broke my fast. It's nothing that I would eat today, but at the time it was Frosted Flakes. I had some Frosted Flakes to break my fast, and this was back in this had to be back in like 98, 99. So
Wow.
yeah, so that was my introduction to fast. Since then, I've learned a lot more about fasting and the benefits of fasting. I work long days, anywhere between 12 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there were days when I would be at work all day, dealing with patients, and I just wouldn't have time to sit down and eat. So it showed me that I had the ability to fast once I realized that it had a health benefit to it. Since then, it's I've just increased the amount of time that I've given to the fast. But the question that you asked was what brought me to the fast. A few years back, I went and had a physical, and the provider took my blood pressure, and he looked at me and he asked me if I had kids, and I said, "Yes, I have kids." He said, "Do you love your kids?" Of course, I love my kids. Do you want to see your kids graduate from high school? Yes, want to see them graduate from high school, go on to college, live successful lives. He said to me, "Well, sir, if you don't get your blood pressure under control, you're not going to live to see it." So for me, that was a bombshell moment, and that started my journey into health and trying to get my blood pressure under control. As African Americans, we are genetically predisposed to high blood pressure. And high blood pressure is one of 8 chronic diseases that account for about 75% of all of the healthcare costs in the US today. They don't have a cure, but each one of them is completely preventable. So one of the things that I've learned over the years working with a large number of different patient populations is some of the things that work, some of the things that don't work, and I'll just apply those to myself. And fasting is one of them.
Wow, yeah, there are a lot of things that you would never think. Like, I just had a young lady on the podcast recently, and she talked about meditation, but she also talked about deep breathing. And I'll tell you, every time I go to a doctor's office and I know they got to check my blood pressure, I do deep breathing exercises because I know it's going to decrease it instantly, right?
Right, right.
And it always works, right? I'll take 6 deep breaths, but I know that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But you're talking about some things that can directly affect our health, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And deep breathing is not fasting, but it absolutely comes into play when you're thinking about taking care of yourself on a holistic level, because it all comes into play. It's not just like with the blood pressure. It's not just exercise, it's not just diet, it's all of the above. Meditation, it's coming at it from a holistic point of view. One of the things that a lot of us get prescribed with high blood pressure is medication. It's been shown that medication will reduce your blood pressure, but it doesn't exempt you from the illnesses that come with someone who's had a lifetime of high blood pressure. It doesn't preclude you from cardiac disease. You still have issues with your heart down the line, issues with your kidneys. So what is it that we can do? If the medication alone is not working, what is it that we can do? And diet plays a big part in reduction of blood pressure and a lot of the other ailments that afflict us today.
Yeah. So tell us, what type of fasting work for you?
Let's talk about what I'm doing right now. So last Monday, not this Monday that just passed, but last Monday, actually last Sunday, I began a 3-day fast with no food from Sunday until Tuesday. Actually, I'm sorry, it was 4 days. I went from Sunday until Wednesday with no food. After that, I started intermittent fasting, but every other day intermittent fasting. So when I came off of my fast on Wednesday, I had two chicken tacos wrapped in lettuce. So basically, it was a protein. The tacos had uh, coleslaw, just some just vegetables and a protein. I did that for 3 days, and then after that, I started eating one meal a day up until this Tuesday that just passed, where I began eating 2 meals a day. But those 2 meals, the 1 meal and 2 meal, was 12 o'clock for the 1 meal, and the 2 meals was in between 12 o'clock noon and 6 o'clock p.m., and then nothing after 6 o'clock.
Wow. So it sounds to me, from what I'm hearing, is that you're doing kind of like a heavy fast and then scaling it back to something a little bit more sustainable, is what it sounds like. Is that right?
Absolutely. I scale it to something that's more sustainable because we do need food and sustenance. We can't survive without anything. But what happens when you fast is your body starts taking the energy that you would have been getting from the food and taking it from itself. So it starts making its own source of fuel from what's going on inside. That's beneficial to us because the body's not going to start with the good parts of you. It's going to start with the cells that have broken down, or we've got different proteins and we've got things inside of us and toxins that we need to get rid of. The body just turns that into fuel. One of the things that the extended intermittent fasting has helped with is continuing that process. A lot of us think that we lose weight by eating less. You cut your calories, you increase your weight loss. But that's not really what happens. And this is going off on a tangent, but when you eat food, you have a spike in insulin. And insulin is what's responsible for you gaining or losing weight. Every time you spike that insulin, that's a period that your body isn't losing weight. So you take someone who's um, trying to lose weight and they're doing like several meals throughout the day, small meals throughout the day instead of three large meals. You're actually impeding your ability to lose weight because when you have insulin in your body is not using its own fuel, it's using the fuel that you're feeding it. So whatever food that is that you took in is using that instead of feeding on itself and giving you the weight loss that you're looking for.
Yeah, I've studied that recently. There's a guy that I follow that he talks a lot about this. I have to introduce you to him, but he talks about your glucose, and it's just he talks about how exactly what you're saying. He talks about how you know it's the sugar that is giving us energy, but
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have all this sugar in your body, then it doesn't have anywhere else to get the energy from except the fat. And so it starts to feed off the fat as energy, and that's why people start to lose weight faster when they do
Absolutely.
certain types of fast. So I just thought that was powerful, and I've witnessed that even myself when I've done certain fasts, that I would lose all this weight like quickly. And it's easy
Mm-hmm.
to say, oh, it's because you're not eating, but it's really because your body is starting to get energy from a different place. Have you ever wanted to invest in the stock market, but you just didn't know how? That's exactly where I found myself. Is I just didn't know what to pick it, when to sell it, all of that good stuff. But I found an online community. I've been with this community for about a year now, and I love it. It's amazing. They discuss things like generational wealth, stock options, investing, business strategy, and so much more. So, online community that will support, encourage, and hold each other accountable to achieving goals and striving for greatness. So we talk about things like get money and buy income, but how do you buy income? What do you buy? Well, these are the types of things that we talk about in this community, and I think you'll enjoy it. So if you'd like to be a part of it, you get a special link. It's bit.ly/wealth squad 3. That's bit.ly/Wealth Squad 3. And you get a chance to be a part of this amazing community. And let's grow together.
Exactly. And it is because you're not eating. It's why. So you're not eating and your body is eating itself. So it's eating those fat stores. If you eat every day, your body's going to take that energy from the food that you're eating before it takes it from itself. It's not going to deplete its fat stores and you're feeding it. It wants to hold on to that. Your body put it there for a reason. It put it there for a rainy day. Your body is um, a very smart part of you.
For sure. And tell us, like, what are some of the benefits that you've seen personally as a result of fasting, um, especially doing it over a long-term period of time?
Absolutely. The benefits that I've received are the weight loss. And you might look at me and say, hey, you're not a big guy. You don't need to lose weight. But what I would challenge all of us, especially guys, to do is take a look down. Do you see a flat stomach? If you don't see a flat stomach and you got a little pooch there, you got a little flab there, you're really in a bad place, because that's actually where it starts for us, is in our stomachs. So the weight loss is a primary thing that I've noticed, but more importantly is the health benefits. So my blood pressure has come down. My mental acuity, it's amazing the space that I'm in. Just the feeling every day. I feel I drink alcohol for on social occasions, but I don't even have a urge to drink right now because I feel so good just naturally. You know, so the main benefits are the health benefits. And I will be remiss if I didn't say this. The health benefits are wonderful, but I've also had a mental benefit because it takes discipline to fast. And one of the things that I need to work on in my personal life is discipline, and being able to make disciplined decisions and consistency and being able to stick with it. Through fasting, I've been able to increase my ability to be disciplined in other areas of my life and be consistent in other areas of my life.
That's powerful. And I remember years ago from fasting, one of the biggest things that I've learned is that when you take your attention off of food, your other senses become magnified. So what you're talking about
Mhm.
of having that mental clarity and that sharpness is so spot on, because now you're not so focused on, okay, what am I going to eat, or my stomach, or what am I going to eat? Because we eat so much throughout the day, and sometimes it changes our mood. It just does a lot of different things to us. But when you're not so focused on the food, we get a chance to focus on other things. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you're not focused on food, you get to focus on other things. And let me take that a step further, Eddie. I didn't realize how much time I spent thinking about food, going to get food, and just being eating the food and just being locked in on food until the fast. You get so much time back. I've been so productive with my time since I stopped thinking so much about food.
but let me play the advocate here. Somebody's watching this and saying, "Okay, I hear what you're saying, but I'm not about to stop eating. I like eating, right? I
Mhm.
like eating myself personally, but I'm not that person. I'm talking to the viewers that are saying, "Hey, it would be hard for me to not eat." So, what would you suggest is a good way for somebody to start?
First is the recognition that we are addicted to food. That response right there is an addict's response. I worked in chemical dependency and rehab and detox. The changes that our body goes through when we try to fast or we try to give up sugar, our body is going through withdrawal. So first recognize that and understand that if you don't make these changes, you're going to have negative effects health wise. It's going to have a negative effect on your life. It's already having a negative effect every day. I can't explain to somebody how good I feel every day walking around. You see it when I smile at you in the morning and say good morning and I greet everybody. Chris is always so bubbly. Why are you always so happy? Because I feel good. I feel good, and I just want to let it out, and it's not something that you can explain. It's something you got to experience. So if you want to experience something different, come on over to the other side. If you want to continue to feel like you feel every day and just like you got a cloud over your head and a weight on your shoulders, but you continue to eat that sugar every day, and we're not trying to get converts, but speaking to the people who need to hear this, come on over to the other side because it's great. The grass is green, the water is warm, the sun is out. Come on over to the other side.
Yeah, I heard somebody years ago say we dig our grave with our teeth. And that
Yeah.
is so true. I hear people there's so many people who know that they need to do better, but they just refuse to. And it sounds to me like what you just said is that they're addicted to it and they don't see any other way out. So like
Yes.
what can we do to help people who they legitimately want to change? They know they need to change. Their doctor told them they need to change, but for whatever reason, they just keep eating the same stuff and doing the same stuff. And what can we do to fix some of these things?
For the person who's trying to fix it and trying to make a change, the first thing you have to do is plan. Plan, plan. You can't, there's nothing that you can do without a plan. When I fast, I need to plan how I'm gonna fast. Prior to me fasting, I had to plan what I was going to eat when I came off of the fast. I had to figure out what it was that was the nutritious foods that I should be eating. But everything starts with planning. You got to put a plan together and then you got to stick to it. You execute that plan, review everything afterwards and see how everything worked out for you. You fix the things that need to be fixed and you hop in that arena and you do it again. But planning, that's where it starts.
Yeah, I always tell people if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So that's the
Absolutely.
spot on response right there. Well, look, this has been exciting, and you got me wanting to start fasting right now, just off of what you've been sharing. And I have noticed the difference. I've seen your weight loss. I've seen you have a different posture. So it's been amazing to see it. And I really didn't really know that it was this. So that's why I thought it would be perfect for our audience to kind of get some information. But this podcast is about freedom. And you already kind of alluded to the fact of if you're addicted to food, then we need to be free from it. Not saying that you don't eat food ever again, but
Mhm.
we need to find ways where we don't have to have the food, but we could actually operate without it, and have that better mental clarity, better spirituality, and all those good things. So, anything else you want to say as it relates to fasting, your journey, and things of that nature?
I think I should tie it into freedom and cold freedom. That's that's this podcast, Cold Freedom. In order in order to reach the success that we want to reach, in order to live life how we want to live life, in order to be free, we have to move away from those addictions. You can't be an entrepreneur and be successful and not have the health to enjoy it. You can't fix your health later when it's too late. If you want to enjoy freedom, if you want to enjoy success, if you want to be success and live that success, it starts with your health. That has to be part of the plan from day one. When you're putting together your business plans, when you're putting together your life plans, when you're putting together your goals, health has to be a part of that from day one. Plan to live, plan to succeed, plan to eat healthy. I love it. Love you, bro.
I love you too, man. And this has been exciting. And how can people reach you that may want to get connected to you?
See the change, Chris. Instagram, that'll be up soon. Come and check me out. Follow the progress because this is an ongoing thing.
Awesome, good stuff. Well, hey, we appreciate you having being on the show, and we can't wait to have you on again.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Have you ever wanted to invest in the stock market, but you just didn't know which platform to use? Well, there's an easy app that I like to use. It's simple and it's free. It's called Robinhood. And if you go into our show notes, you actually can click on the link. You can set up an account. Again, it's free. And when you do that, once you set it up, you actually can get a free stock just for being a Code Freedom listener. And so, look, you can do short-term trading, long-term trading. You can buy options, and there's so many other little different things that you can do. So take advantage of it today, and let's get you on your course to investing. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.